Today, we're going in search of more horsepower. We'll show you how to get back the power you lose by upgrading to bigger wheels and tires and taller suspensions. It's 3 stages of power to make your gas burner perform as good as it looks. It's all here today on Trucks.
Hey, welcome to Trucks. Today, we're going to solve a problem that a lot of truck owners face once they start to modify their rig. We know that what a lot of you guys do is go to a dealership, plunk down for a new truck, and then start to throw things like wheels and tires and suspension systems at it. But after a while, the weight and the rotating mass of those items can actually rob your truck of power.
So today, we're starting with this brand new 2006 Ford F-150. It's already been treated to a custom set of 22 by 9.5 inch wheels wrapped in 33-inch tall tires, all riding on a Dyno Racing coilover suspension.
Now, we just got back from the horsepower shop where we ran this truck on their DynoJet chassis dyno. Ford claims 300 horsepower with the flywheel for stock F-150s with a 5.4 Triton. Okay, looks like we got a baseline of 202 horsepower, 234 foot-pounds of torque.
Not too bad. Let's get this thing in the shop.
So to boost the power output in our 5.4-liter engine, we went to Banks Engineering. Now, you diesel guys have been benefiting from the available upgrades for your trucks, but Banks has also been involved in gasoline performance for years, and they've just come up with 3 stages of performance for our F-150. First is the Stinger system. This kit includes a cat-back stainless steel exhaust that Banks calls the Monster exhaust. It's available in both single and dual tailpipe options. It also comes with a high-performance lifetime filter inside the Ram Air cold air intake housing. This all feeds into the high Ram intake plenum, and all the engine tuning is handled by an AutoMind programmer. Now, all this is a great starting point for any truck, but if you want even more power, you can upgrade your Stinger system to a power pack by adding a set of these Banks torque tubes. These stainless steel tubular manifolds lower restrictions in the exhaust system and help with the scavenging effect of the exhaust gases.
But when you're ready for the ultimate power for your gas truck, you need to pull out the big guns. And the third stage from Banks Engineering is their Big Hoss bundle. This includes the ultimate power adder, a Banks blower. This belt-driven supercharger delivers great low-end torque and will stuff our 5.4 V8 with cool, dense air thanks to an integrated intercooler. This will maximize the power output of our truck. The kit also includes everything you need, such as the proper larger injectors and spark plugs. Now, the cool thing about the Big Hoss bundle is that it builds on the components already found in the power pack.
Let's get this on the lift.
All right.
But before we go to the limit with the Big Hoss kit, we're going to start with the Stinger. That's the Catback Monster exhaust, the cold air kit, and the AutoMind. Then toss this truck back on the dyno for what you guys are asking for, real-world numbers. With the stock exhaust gone from the truck, we can begin to install our new Monster exhaust with the front pipe, followed by the muffler, and finally, 2 tailpipes out the rear for that high-performance look. Okay, now that we've cleared a path for the air to get out, it's time to take care of the air coming in. Now, this factory air box is full of restrictions, and the new Banks Ram Air system will allow us to increase the air and fuel charge going into this engine. This system is an easy install. After removing the stock unit, swap the mass airflow sensor into the high Ram plenum and drop it into place.
Now, the final step in the Stinger install will be to reprogram the truck's PCM using the Banks handheld programmer. This will adjust the engine's timing and match the fuel delivery to the airflow improvements we've just made with the Stinger. Now, this entire system was pretty easy to install, and you guys should be able to do it at home with just simple hand tools.
Now, I know what you guys are thinking. What kind of power will these parts make on my truck? Well, let's go over to the horsepower dyno and check it out. Now, remember that our truck baselined with 202 horsepower and 234 foot-pounds of torque, and this run is with all the components from the Stinger kit. All right, with the Stinger, it looks like we got 227 horse and 251 foot-pounds of torque.
Oh, good. That's better. All right, with the Stinger kit, we picked up 25 horses and 17 foot-pounds of torque at the rear wheels. That's a pretty good kick for just a few parts installed.
Yeah, not bad at all. But when we come back from the break, we're going to dig back into this truck and move on to stage 2 of our quest for more power. Stick around.
25 horses. That ain't bad. But when we come back, we'll move on to stage 2.
Hey, welcome back to Trucks, where we're searching for even more power for this F-150. Now, this truck came to our shop like a lot of newer trucks, sitting a little bit higher, rolling on some big wheels and tires.
And modifications like these can actually rob your truck of power. Due to the extra weight of these 22-inch wheels, your truck is now having to turn down the highway. Now we've gotten some of that power back thanks to Banks Stinger catback stainless steel exhaust, Ram Air cold air intake, and some reprogramming with the AutoMind.
Now, the Stinger kit bought us an additional 25 horsepower and 17 foot-pounds of torque, but we're looking for more power, and we're going to get it with a set of these torque tubes. Now, these high-flow primary tubes will help us with the scavenging effect in the cylinders. Now, if you look at the stock manifold, you'll see that it shares a common primary tube, and this can lead to turbulence in the manifold and sacrifice flow.
But a set of these tubular exhaust manifolds like these torque tubes have individual runners for each cylinder. This pulls the exhaust out of the cylinder and actually helps on the intake stroke to draw in more air. That means we can add more fuel.
Now, this is a big job due to the clearance issues between the torque tubes and the frame rail. We've removed our splash shield for better access, and you might want to allow for a couple of hours aside to replace these manifolds. After they're in, they just bolt up to the stock down tube.
Now that we've improved airflow even more, we're going to once again recalibrate the PCM using the same Banks programmer that we used before, this time choosing the power pack setting. And since we're after maximum horsepower, we're going to set it up to run on high octane fuel. But if you're feeling the pinch at the pump, don't worry, the Banks programmer has tuning options for mid and low octane fuels.
With our new power pack installed, we can head back over to the horsepower shop for another dyno run. Okay, the power pack's got us 245 horse and 260 foot-pounds of torque.
All right, now we're getting somewhere.
All right, so now we can move on to the third stage and pull out all the stops.
Yeah, but we can't add all this power and not address the brakes. So stay tuned.
Coming up next, the Humper goes on to breathe big power in our F-150. And later, we'll ignite the third stage.
Welcome back to Trucks in our F-150 build-up. This is a pretty typical street truck with a mild lift and, of course, larger 22-inch wheels and 33-inch tires. We've been hunting for power to make this thing perform again, and so far we've stuffed 43 horsepower and 26 pound-feet of torque back into the rear wheels.
But now it's time to take our truck to a level it's never seen before with the addition of the Banks Big Hoss bundle that includes this Roots-style Supercharger. Now this will work hand in hand with the rest of the Banks stuff we put on today and is the ultimate power adder for the 5.4-liter Ford. The Big Hoss kit includes everything from both the Stinger and Power Pack kits, but adds this blower with an integrated intercooler, intake manifold, and blower assembly, and comes with all the gaskets and hardware to bolt it up.
Before the new blower can go on, we'll move our Ram Air out of the way so we can get to the factory parts that'll need to come off. The Banks blower uses an added idler pulley with a longer belt. The pulley mounting bracket sits under the alternator, so get ready to pretty much strip down the top of your engine. Keep in mind that a lot of the stock bolts are reused, so keep track of everything.
On a late model modular engine, each spark plug has its own coil, and these will need to be removed to swap out the supplied colder plugs. Here's an easy way to get your plugs out of a cylinder head recess. Use a piece of vacuum hose to grab the plug and just pull it out. The same trick works to install the new plugs.
The factory fuel rail is reused and reinstalled under the blower manifold, but we're swapping the stock injectors with Banks high-flow units that will keep up with the demands of our new force-fed system. If you just add a charger and don't upgrade your injectors, you risk running the engine lean or running out of fuel at high RPMs. Using a kit that balances air-fuel delivery will decrease the possibility of internal engine damage.
The Supercharger uses an independent coolant system with its own reservoir and electric circulation pump. This maintains a constant supply of fluid to the intercooler that lowers the incoming air temperature.
So, I'm there.
Yep, we're over here. We're good.
Good.
When you reinstall your alternator, plug in the connectors before you bolt it down. Then it's just a matter of reinstalling the factory bolts and installing the new Banks serpentine belt pulley. The new serpentine belt goes on, followed by the new upper coolant tube and hose ends. The stock throttle body is bolted in place on the blower housing, and the factory connections go right back in place.
The heat exchanger mounts up front between the bumper and frame rails. The F-150's bumper design allows for the best mounting spot with the most protection and airflow. And finally, transfer the mass airflow sensor to the new inlet tube.
That is one slick-looking unit, and the best part is it will be reusing all of the parts from our Stinger and Power Pack kit, only replacing the high ram inlet tube with this new piece. So you could add the Big Hoss kit to your existing Power Pack at any time.
Now, just as we've done in every step of the process, we need to reprogram our truck's PCM to control the bigger injectors that are matched to our new Banks blower.
All right, now for those of you who need a little refresher course on how a Roots-type supercharger works, check this out. A supercharger is basically a belt-driven air compressor. It uses two counter-rotating lobed rotors to force air into the intake system. The Banks blower uses a serpentine belt driven by the crankshaft to deliver 5.5 pounds of boost that is then forced into the cylinder on the intake stroke.
This boosted air intake charge is more dense, and therefore more fuel can be added to the cylinder.
Now I know you guys are thinking, hey, you've added all that power to keep up with the power that you lost from running these big 22-inch hoops, but those stock brakes aren't designed for all of that. Well, check this out. This Extreme Plus kit from Bayer will help us increase our clamping force on the rotors and significantly decrease our stopping distances. And if you're running wheels 20 inches and above, a kit like this is a must. Now out back, we're going to use these stock replacement cross-drilled and vented rotors that are great for wet weather performance as well as outgassing.
Now, this system not only uses all the factory mounting points, it improves braking by up to 25% depending on what you're driving. So now, not only do we have the power we need to get these big tires and wheels turning, we've got the ability to throw out the anchor if need be.
All right, now we're just about ready to go back over the horsepower dyno and see how much new power we can breathe into our F-150. We'll do that right after we come back from the break.
When we come back, the dyno's going to tell us how we did. Stick around.
Hey, welcome back. With all the Go Fast goodies stuffed under our hood, it's time to take one last trip over to the horsepower dyno and see what kind of numbers this entire package is going to give us. But before we do that, let's take a look back and see what we've already achieved. Our truck baselined with 202 horsepower and 234 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels. With the Stinger kit, we added a ram air intake, catback exhaust, and retuned our truck with the AutoMind programmer. That gave us a total of 227 horsepower and 251 pound-feet of torque. By adding the Banks torque tubes and reprogramming with the Automind to the Power Pack setting for premium fuel, we saw 245 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque.
Now that we've got our big hoss bundle installed with the Banks blower, let's go see how much power we can make.
That blower's working, man. The big hoss bundle's got us 335 horse and 355 foot-pounds of torque.
All right, those are the numbers we're looking for. Let's go have some fun.
Well, there you have it. A great solution for those of you who want to get back some of that performance that you lost by adding power-robbing upgrades like wheels and tires or suspension lifts. Now, we've shown you 3 different kits and a whole lot of parts, but each system is available individually and makes them perfect for those of you who have already started to modify your trucks at home.
And by upgrading the brakes, we not only made this truck stop better, we made it safer. But in the end, this truck's performance now matches its good looks.
When you're shopping for a suspension lift for your 99 through 06 Chevy IFS 4x4, you got a lot of choices. But this Evo system from Rough Country is the first system ever to give you a full 6 inches of lift with no cutting, no drilling, and no welding. It uses laser-cut front and rear cross members that feature a boxed honeycomb construction for added strength and an integrated skid plate system that maximizes ground clearance. These one-piece cast and machined steering knuckles come fully powder-coated, and these torsion bar drop brackets are designed to keep your torsion bars in the stock location and out of the way of obstacles. But one of the coolest things that Rough Country has come up with is these slip yoke CV shafts with a high angle boot and up to 50 degrees of operating range. And that's going to keep your wheels planted where you need them. These systems start at $1,559 and just under $2,000 with the CV axle upgrade. Thanks for watching Trucks. See you guys next week.